You already know something is wrong. You feel it before your feet hit the floor, that low, dull weight in your chest, not depression, not anxiety, just a grinding awareness that you are behind where you are supposed to be. You run the math, the balance that should be higher, the body that should be leaner, the career that should have moved, the version of yourself you made promises to 3 years ago. Instead of waking up hungry, you wake up tired. Tired before the day has asked a single thing of you. You scroll, you check, you compare. Somewhere in the quiet arithmetic of your own mind, you arrive at a verdict you would never say out loud. Something is broken in me. Nothing is broken in you. You are not lazy. You are not weak. You are not a man who simply wasn't built for more. That story, the one your brain narrates at 2 a.m., is a lie. A manufactured lie, assembled by an environment designed to drain your focus and keep you orbiting the same radius for years. Nothing is broken in you. You are not lazy. You are not weak. You are not a man who simply wasn't built for more. That story, the one your brain narrates at 2 a.m., is a lie. A manufactured lie, assembled by an environment designed to drain your focus and keep you orbiting the same radius for years. Nothing is broken in you. You are not lazy. You are not weak. You are not a man who simply wasn't built for more. That story, the one your brain narrates at 2 a.m., is a lie. A manufactured lie, assembled by an environment designed to drain your focus and keep you orbiting the same radius for years. You were handed a broken operating system. Nobody gave you the blueprint. Nobody mapped the architecture of how men actually build distance from the pack. So you borrowed habits from the men around you. And the men around you are also stuck. That is the diagnosis. Not your character, not your potential. The system you are running is the problem. And systems can be demolished and rebuilt. Every motivational feed will tell you the same thing. Find your why. Want it badly enough. Hustle harder. That advice is noise. Motivation is a weather pattern. It arrives without announcement and disappears the same way. You cannot build a life on a weather pattern. Men pulling ahead of you are not more passionate. They are not waking up every single morning with fire in their chest. They are running better systems. They have built an internal architecture so solid that action no longer waits on feeling. The gap is not intensity. It is infrastructure, the invisible behavioral scaffolding that determines what you do when you feel absolutely nothing. Today, that is what we rebuild. Men pulling ahead of you are not more passionate. They are not waking up every single morning with fire in their chest. They are running better systems. They have built an internal architecture so solid that action no longer waits on feeling. The gap is not intensity. It is infrastructure, the invisible behavioral scaffolding that determines what you do when you feel absolutely nothing. Today, that is what we rebuild. What follows is not a list of tips. It is a behavioral reconstruction protocol. 13 habits, each targeting a precise point of leakage in your daily architecture. They are not extreme, they are surgical and compounding. Stacked consistently over 90 days, the separation they create from the average man around you is not subtle. It is seismic. 1. Wake up without a negotiation. Most men hit snooze because their environment permits it. Phone within reach, no design, no reason. The snooze button is not a fatigue issue. It is a daily vote of no confidence in your own direction. Place your phone across the room. Write one sentence the night before about what the morning is for. Not a goal, a reason. The moment you stop bargaining with your alarm, your nervous system receives a signal that your commitments are non-negotiable. The vote changes. The day follows. 2. Govern the first input. Before your cortisol awakening response completes, roughly 20 minutes after waking, your brain is neurologically exposed. Pattern recognition is suppressed. Emotional filtering is low. Most men flood that window with social media and other people's urgency. Your mind is colonized before you have had one original thought. Own the first 30 minutes completely. No phone, no content. Walk, think, write. Occupy your own mind before the world arrives to do it for you. This single habit recalibrates the baseline of your entire day. 3. Build a financial perimeter around the first dollar. Most men spend first and save what's left. What's left is always nothing. The architecture is backwards. The moment income arrives, before any bill or purchase, move a fixed percentage, even 10%, into a separate account you do not monitor daily. This is not about immediate wealth. It is about training your nervous system to treat that boundary as untouchable. The discipline that builds from this ritual over 6 months becomes the foundation of genuine financial control. You are not saving money, you are reclaiming authority over your own resources. 4. Install one daily physical standard. Not a program, not a challenge. One repeatable, non-negotiable action. 20 minutes walking, 30 push-ups, a cold shower. Choose one and defend it. The mechanism is not physical. It is identity construction. Every time you honor the standard, your brain records a data point. This man does what he says. Over 90 days, that becomes your dominant self-concept. And your self-concept is the silent architecture beneath every financial, professional, and relational decision you make. 5. Kill passive consumption after 9 p.m. The cognitive state you inhabit at 10 p.m. is the biological raw material of tomorrow morning. Most men spend those late hours in low-grade overstimulation, scrolling content engineered to trigger emotion without resolution, dopamine without closure. This fractures sleep, elevates cortisol, and delivers you to morning already carrying an anxiety debt. Hard stop at 9 p.m. Phone face down. The restlessness of week 1 is withdrawal. Your reward circuitry recalibrating. Survive it. What is on the other side permanently changes your mornings. 6. Execute one uncomfortable conversation per week. Most men are quietly bleeding opportunity through avoidance. The raise not negotiated, the boundary not enforced, the pitch never made. Discomfort avoidance is the most pervasive ceiling on male earning potential. The habit is not fearlessness. It is scheduled friction. One uncomfortable action per week. 52 per year. Negotiations, confrontations, applications, and proposals the men around you are not making. The compounding effect on your income and authority over 12 months is not incremental. It is architectural. 7. Audit your 5 closest relationships every quarter. The research on social influence is unambiguous. Your income trajectory, habits, and ambition drift toward the median of your closest environment over time. If your 5 people are comfortable being stagnant, you will absorb that comfort regardless of your intentions. The audit is not about cutting people off, it is about clarity. Know what you are absorbing. Then deliberately introduce one new relationship per quarter whose median pulls yours upward. 8. Read one targeted book per month. Not what everyone recommends. The specific book that addresses the ceiling you are currently standing beneath. Finance is the gap. One finance book. Persuasion is the gap. One negotiation text. Directed reading, compounded across 12 months, constructs a cognitive architecture the average man, reading 0 books annually, simply cannot compete with in long-horizon decisions. You are not collecting information. You are rebuilding the operating system that generates your choices. 9. Track 6 numbers every Sunday. Account balance, weekly spending, average nightly sleep, one income metric, one health metric, one honest observation about your most important relationship this week. 5 minutes, no judgment, just direct contact with the current reality of your life. Most men avoid their numbers because accuracy is confrontational. The avoidance does not improve the situation. It removes your capacity to respond to it. You cannot navigate terrain you refuse to observe. 10. Remove one environmental friction point every week. Friction is the invisible tax on every good intention. Clothes not laid out, you will not go. Desk cluttered, your thinking will mirror it. Environmental design is the most underutilized performance lever available to you. Each week, find one place your surroundings work against your intentions and redesign it. Over a year, you eliminate 52 resistance points. The cumulative result is a life that moves with you instead of grinding against you. 11. Protect 20 minutes of deliberate solitude daily. Not meditation unless that is your practice. Just silence. No input, no task, no stimulation. Most men have not experienced a genuinely original thought in years because they have never sustained the quiet required for one to surface. Solitude is where strategy lives, where your actual values become audible, where the voice that knows what is wrong and what must change is finally allowed to speak. Men who make excellent decisions have a protected, deliberate relationship with their own silence. 12. Anchor your morning to output, not consumption. The conventional morning routine is built around receiving news, podcasts, content. The superior architecture is built around producing 15 minutes of unfiltered writing, one problem solved, one task completed before 9 a.m. You begin every day as a maker, not a receiver. That identity, a man who has already created something before most people are awake, reconfigures the posture with which you approach every obstacle and decision that follows. 13. Execute this rebuild in complete silence. The average man announces his transformation before it begins. He posts the goal. He tells the group chat. He collects the social acknowledgement of the declaration, and in doing so, partially satisfies the psychological need the achievement was supposed to fulfill. Research is consistent. Public declarations reliably reduce follow-through. Keep this private. Execute in the dark. Let the results speak for you. Silence in a world of performative ambition is one of the rarest and most decisive forms of competitive power. Now, I need to prepare you for the terrain between starting and arriving. Around week 3, the initial energy will be gone. You will have strung together 8-10 consecutive days. Your account will look identical. Your body will show no visible change. Your life will feel exactly the same as day 1. This is the Valley of Silence, the phase where the compound effect accumulates entirely beneath the surface, invisible to your impatient eye. Roots before branches. This is precisely where 80% of men conclude the system failed and return to every default that created their problem. Do not quit in the valley. The men who stay in it, through the doubt, through the absence of visible evidence, are the only ones who discover what is waiting on the other side. Prepare also for the social friction. When you stop joining every impulsive plan, when you decline the purchases that breach your financial perimeter, when you begin moving through your days with visible intention, certain people will become uncomfortable. Uncomfortable people dismantle what reminds them of their own avoidance. They will tell you that you are taking life too seriously. They will say you have changed, and they will not mean it as praise. Hear that for what it is: confirmation. The separation is beginning to register. Do not explain yourself. Do not defend the protocol to people who did not ask for it. Stay in motion. Let the results answer. Close your eyes and move forward. 36 months from today, you have been running this protocol, not perfectly, but consistently. You wake up, and the arithmetic of regret is not waiting in the silence. Your accounts do not generate anxiety. Your body is not a source of shame. You walk into every room carrying the quiet authority of a man who has built something from the inside out. The people who mocked your discipline 3 years ago are watching you now, asking quiet questions they are too proud to say aloud. You are not the wealthiest man in the room, but you are free. You hold the most valuable currency available to a man in his prime: control. Earned deliberate control over your direction, your resources, your attention, and your time. That is not a small thing. That is the architecture of a free life. Even if you execute half of this list, even if you take 7 of these 13 habits and build your rebuild around them, your trajectory changes. Not incrementally, fundamentally. Because the distance between men is never created in singular moments of heroism. It is built in the quiet, compounding architecture of daily decisions that most men are too overstimulated, too comfortable, or too discouraged to make. You are watching this because something in you already knows that. Honor that instinct. If you are ready to begin, comment "I am rebuilding" below this video, not a hashtag, a contract between you and the version of yourself you have owed something to for longer than you want to admit. Subscribe to the Peak Minds. The next video goes directly into the financial architecture most men are never shown, and it picks up exactly where this one ends. The work begins now, not Monday, not next month, right now.